Hello and welcome to our time. They met at high school, married young, and have been together ever since. He plays guitar, she teaches circus skills. And as they say, circus classes are a magnificent fusion of physical activity and mental creativity, offering an array of captivating benefits that will leave you spellbound. They are Chantelle and Scott Reed, and welcome.
Hello, thanks for having us.
The last time I really saw you, you had a guitar in your hand and you were going right off and you were hanging upside down. Mm-hmm. So let's talk a bit about your backstory, because not only do you run a circus school, but partially a gym as well, and music as well. It's an interesting marriage of two particular skills.
Yeah.
Which is lovely. And the shows that you do are fascinating and modern, very modern. Mm-hmm. So let's start with you, Scott. I know you met her at high school. Mm. Were you playing then? Did you see a future of, I could play guitar and she could swing around upside down?
No. I was playing guitar already and had started doing gigs in Adelaide and stuff, so that's what I wanted to do.
How old were you when you started guitar?
I was 14.
Okay.
And I was 15 when I started getting decent at it and started playing in bands. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as I hit 18, I was playing all the venues in Adelaide.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously knew each other at that time.
Yeah, we started dating when I was 18 and Shan was 16.
Right.
But I was just doing music then. Circus wasn't even a consideration.
You hadn't put it all
at that
together
point.
yet?
No.
I wasn't even doing circus at that point.
No.
No.
I mean, that's what's interesting too, that you hadn't sort of had that family background like a lot of circus people have.
No, I started as an adult. So I actually started at 23 doing circus arts, and I didn't have a background.
Last year?
Very funny. That was 12 years ago now.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't have background in gym or dance, but I wanted a way to overcome anxiety, and I found that circus gave me a way to push my limits and get some skills and a toolbox of ways that I could overcome when I was having anxious moments. So that's why I started circus. But
well, we've got a little clip here of the two of you working together, which is worth having a look at so that we all know what we're talking about and what you do. Mm-hmm. So have a look. Now, when you work as a couple, you called yourself Circax, Ax being the guitar, Circ being you.
Yeah. Yeah, this was us in Melbourne last year.
He's not even looking at you. There's his wife hanging upside down. He's not the least bit interested. He's only interested in his frets.
It's his first love, really.
Yeah.
Married to the guitar.
Uh-huh.
Married to the axe. No, I love the whole look of this. It's sort of where circus has come. What were your influences? What sort of made you interested in circus?
In circus?
Well, I know why, you just said that, but you must have seen something that said, oh, this is what I'd like to do.
Well, I actually have this memory from being 3 or 4, I think, going and seeing Hudson Circus with my granddad and being pulled up by one of the main clowns in the middle of the show and getting some flowers. And I just remember being captivated by the aerials that were on stage in that show and by the whole put together of all the ground acts and the aerial acts. And I always joked for like a very long time that I would run away and join the circus, and no one believed me. And then I found a way to join the circus.
Well, create your own.
Yeah, and that did happen too. Like, it's crazy to think that I went from doing something to help me overcome anxiety to now opening our own doors, and we opened right in the peak of COVID.
Always the best time.
Yeah, the best time. We have the best timing.
Do you know the number of people that open restaurants and businesses like yours at the beginning of that? I mean, we were right at the end of Fringe here in Adelaide at that time, and the government didn't close everything down until after Fringe finished on March the 20th.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting to sort of, we all thought, a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks. Well, in South Australia we were lucky, but sadly for the Victorians, I mean, it was very sad for you that you went on for so long, not being able to get out and see people, meet people. I was talking to somebody today just about the fact of not being able to hug each other, even in a family environment.
Yeah.
So what happened for you? Did you just sort of stop everything for 6 weeks here?
Well, we played our last show at Star Theatres the day before COVID really hit in SA.
In that fringe run.
In that fringe run, yeah. And then everything shut down and I couldn't touch aerials. I couldn't go back to aerials. I lived 45 minutes away from my closest aerial studio. So when they put in the restrictions of how far you could travel, it meant that I could no longer continue on with circus arts. And I felt really disconnected from all of the community that I had found to be my family. And so that was one of our main driving forces to decide to open South Coast, was that for so long we'd been saying that we needed a circus down south, and no one sort of believed that the south had the numbers to justify opening down south. And that feeling of isolation is what really drove us to being able to open South Coast Circus, and the numbers have proven themselves now.
So we did it in the pandemic, and we didn't expect that they'd continually shut down for as long as what they did afterwards.
No,
we got shut down a couple of times, but yeah, we managed to push through, and our numbers went through the roof. And yeah, we went from something like 8 classes when we first opened to 50 within a couple of months.
Amazing. What is it? What draws people to it? Because I noticed on your website, it looked to me like you had some like company activities to give people a bit more get up and go and to believe in themselves more, building more self-confidence. Yeah. Because if it did it for you, you're really passing that on.
Absolutely. I think the thing that draws people to circus arts is the fact that they can truly discover who they are as a person, how their bodies work, and we celebrate how people are different. It's not a one size fits all. And there are so many different ways that you can have fun, move your body and feel good about moving your body while meeting people. That just gives you that connection. Like, there's no pressure to be a certain way. There's no pressure to look a certain way. There's no pressure to act a certain way. Everyone can come in raw, true self and have a really good time.
Does it feel, because you do aerial stuff mostly, does it feel like you're flying? What does it feel like?
It definitely does feel like you're flying. Like, the feeling of freedom with anti-gravity is huge, but it's also really painful. People don't understand how painful it actually is.
It's like ballet dancers on point. Everyone thinks, oh, they look so light and fluffy up there.
Yeah.
Their feet are in agony.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like that. Like, people are always surprised by the bruises and, you know, the rips and stuff like that we get, but it's so worth it because you push your limits and you grow and you don't understand how hard and how far you can actually go.
So most of the people that come along for classes, are they children or are they adults?
Nope, we've got a really good range between 1.5 right through to adults. Probably our biggest age group outside of the adults is the 5 to 8 year olds. And that's a really fun age to teach because they're really discovering who they are, and we can really set their identity.
And they can all do a cartwheel so easily.
Absolutely. But then I really love, we've got a huge population of adults and not many of our adults have the background. So that's something that really excites me, is that they can walk through the doors and they can appreciate, because I can appreciate what it feels like to be an adult and starting out in this sort of world and not knowing how to do a somersault or not knowing how to do a cartwheel is a very scary thing. Like, everyone thinks about the 2-year-olds that don't have to think about when they do it.
Yeah, that's right. The trick though is if you do start young, you can just sort of keep doing it into the rest of your life. I didn't do any of those things till I was 20. Now I can't do them at all, which is a real shame. And I wish I had learned earlier so that your body is geared for that. Like, it's like playing an instrument. You know, I guess for you, the fret bar, whatever you call the neck of the guitar, you don't even need to look at it anymore. You just know what all the spaces are.
Yeah, I don't even think about it anymore. It's just, it's second nature. Yeah.
So you're not so much playing written music. Are you improvising a lot with what you do?
No, well, the stuff that I do with the circus, I'm writing it all for the purpose of a circus show.
Oh, so
when it's
the tricks they're doing, or is tricks the right word?
Yeah.
The tricks they're doing, you're musically doing at the same time, sort of. Is it a coordination?
Yeah, in a way. And like, we'll come up with a theme for a show, and then I'll write music to sort of suit that and try and fit the mood of the songs to whatever the performer that's going to be on is trying to convey, and try and make it come together that way. So
you make the guitar sound like a band. Yeah. No, I've been playing guitar for so long. I don't know. I think I've just been doing it for so long, and
You
I've
write and
learned.
record all of the instruments, so for all of the music. It's not just guitar and the music.
No,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're playing along with yourself, so to speak.
Yeah, I've pre-recorded it all. I do that at the circus gym as well. There's an upstairs area where I've set up a little studio. So I just program everything, record it into a computer system and then put it all together and have that playing through a PA while I play over the top.
But I mean, you really look like a rock god while you're doing all that. And now with the look, with the plaited beard and everything else, was that an intentional thing?
Well, not really. It's just kind of gone that way. I was just growing my beard out. And
Did
then
they have this was a COVID beard that just kept going, was it?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm a metalhead, so like a lot of people that are into metal have long hair and beards and stuff. And this came because we went to a Viking festival and I like the style of it. They gave me some like them little beads that you can put in there. So and then I've just kept it.
Did it get in the way?
No, it's less in the way than if
Does your daughter grab it and say, "Daddy, come over here"?
We've got a son.
Oh, sorry, your son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his
That's
one
so
son.
good.
But
How did I get that wrong?
He does grab it, yeah.
He thinks it's hilarious to grab.
He does.
I'm sure he does. Now, is he doing it as well?
He does. So he's not an aerialist though. He is a tumble stunter. So he likes
Okay.
the parkour and the tricking side of things and the stuff that I cannot do.
Because he's, what is he, 10 or something?
He's about to turn 9. So he turns
9.
9 in about 4 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hold the thought about what you could do and we'll return in just a moment's time. And welcome back to Our Time. Chantelle and Scott Reed are our guests, and we're just talking about when you first met. You met at school. Mm-hmm. Did you have an inkling that you would become a couple and you would start a circus and music and gym?
No, not at all. We didn't really know. We went to the same school. We didn't know each other heaps well then. We had a lot of mutual friends. And it's when I just left high school, like I'd turned 18 and just finished. Chantelle just turned up at my house with a friend of mine and his girlfriend, and we just hung out. It was bizarre.
Friends first?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not for that long.
About a month of
Yeah.
like.
Oh,
getting
okay.
to
And then
know
it was
each other.
suddenly serious?
Yeah.
So who talked who into coming up with actually forming a show?
It was both of us really. Like I had an opportunity to perform and I said to my friends at the time how cool it would be to have Scott involved in some way because he could create all new unique music that would suit our theme 100% without us having to look at other options. And then we just started growing in ideas because we had all these like out there different styles and themes that we wanted to do that we were passionate about doing. And so it grew from there.
But really Scott is as much a part of the show as the aerialists or whatever they're doing.
Absolutely.
Just go through, well, let's have another quick look at what you do just to remind everybody of what you look like while you're performing. But added to you, what else is there that you teach?
So for me, I teach ground skills as well. So I teach things like juggling and hula and tumbling and little bits of partner acro. But I'm predominantly an aerialist.
And apart from silks, what else do you use?
Aerial hoop, trapeze, silks, hammock, and then we've got some custom apparatuses as well. So like some aerial moon and a sphere. Pretty much, we've got a rigger here in Adelaide, Scott from Crunch Time Aerial Equipment. He creates anything that my heart desires, basically.
How many people are involved when you do it as a show?
Oh, usually
It
around
depends.
10 to
yeah,
15.
we usually shoot, between 10 and 15 songs and then get that many artists to do a piece.
Well, it's funny because circus meaning something that's in the round, circus has really changed so dramatically now. It's more about the circus skills, isn't it? How effective do you think has things like the Fringe been in introducing the public to more of these sorts of skills?
I think it's definitely brought it back into the mainstream more. It's not so much in that Fringe anymore. People aren't so afraid of being circus freaks anymore. They are really captivated and it's a better appreciation for the skills that we put on stage because it's definitely much more mainstream, especially thanks to Fringe.
Do you see yourself sort of going into the future as more show producers or teachers? do you think?
A bit of both. We have an artistic development program where we're always developing the skills of performers, young up and coming performers. And so I think now we're in this new phase with South Coast where we are getting into doing more shows, more productions, more
We can do
pieces.
things in your school area because it's essentially a great big shed.
Yeah, exactly. And like we've gone from people that had no experience to now we're 4 years in, and so people aren't so scared of the idea of performing anymore. So now we can throw those greater challenges like big concept productions where they're sticking to a theme and it's not just a variety show type.
We've ended up with like a lot of your students now as like state title holders. Some have been national title holders. Like they're all becoming very high level sort of performers, and then we can fit them into our shows at Fringe.
Well, again,
times
that's
and stuff
how
like
it works,
that now.
I guess, isn't it? I mean, you're training people
Yeah.
to it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
I mean, it's just like how long's a piece of string? But for somebody who has an interest in this, how long does it really take for them to develop the muscle and I suppose the fearlessness to attempt these things?
I think we had our first Fringe show 12 months in, no, not even 12 months. It would have been like 6 months into having our studio open. And they were such babies. And we were actually looking back at video footage of some of their first performances the other day. And it was so funny. Like, they were massively terrified to be on stage that first time. And now these same kids 4 years later, I can be like, all right, we've got a show tonight, you're on stage doing this performance, and throw them straight into it. And it's like they don't even think about it anymore, and their whole identity and their whole confidence and their persona on stage is so huge now. So I think that like the 4 years worth of training and building these incremental steps towards training on the bigger stages, like we've travelled all of Australia with the troupe. We're so lucky. And all it's done is build their confidence and given them the ability to inspire others. So now others know how hard they have to work to be able to get on stage.
Well, that's true. I think good people who do it well make it look so easy, like playing guitar as well. It looks like you're having such a wonderful time going right off.
That was great fun.
Yeah, but that didn't happen overnight.
No, it took years and years of practice to figure it all out. But it is cool now. I've got a whole heap of music on Spotify and Apple Music and all of that now, under the name Scott Reed String Theory.
No, congratulations to you both for what you've achieved but you're not a tent circus, are you?
No.
You're really more a theatre or an event circus.
Yeah, so there's definitely different styles of circus. We fit more in the contemporary side of circus art. So we really like the idea of concept shows and pieces that are more theatrical, that tell a story start to finish. We always described ourselves as a circus meets opera. Like we wanted it to have that operatic feel of having a concept and a story that carried an arc throughout the entire show.
But we have predominantly done theatres. All the shows we've done, we've only done, I guess, the tent once in Gluttony, that one running Gluttony that we did in a tent. But yeah, the majority of the time we're looking for theatres.
Did that feel better or not the same?
It was
definitely
fun.
Not the same, but it is lots of fun.
I prefer a theatre for what we do.
Because of all the lighting and all the extra stuff?
Yeah, and the sound equipment's usually a lot better quality and you get a better sound.
And we can set the stage a bit better and have some like sets and stuff like that.
Yeah, but being in a tent in Gluttony is a pretty fun experience.
Yeah.
Gluttony, for the people in Melbourne, Gluttony is one of the two
Hubs.
the two garden sections during the Adelaide Fringe, which is not all that far away. I mean, people are now looking towards the 2025 Fringe and trying to work out what they're going to put into the Fringe. Has that been beneficial for you, do you feel? Did that inspire you to go further with what you're doing? The Fringe I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. Our first opportunity to be Fringe artists definitely pushed us to aspire to creating bigger and better shows each year. Because it's such a fun time to come together with other artists and celebrate and network and build community and see what other people are working on. The arts are so massive and so beautiful, and
Is it also the opportunity to meet the others who may be working with you in the future? Because obviously you need people to help train. You can't do everything yourself.
No, absolutely not.
So how many people work with you training? And sorry, can add to that the skills that they may teach?
Yeah, so at the moment we've only got a really limited team. We actually keep it quite small for the purpose of having that real family feel. So we've got Mark, who was a part of Gone Circus and Time and Space Circus. So he teaches partner acrobatics, youth and tricking.
Yeah.
And
What's
stunting.
tricking?
So like flips and
okay.
walkovers and stuff like that.
Okay, acrobatic stuff.
Yeah, acrobatic stuff. We've got Ash, who teaches tumble. We've got Schmitty, who teaches fire and flow arts. Ricky, who teaches parkour from the South Australian Parkour Association. And then we've got a couple of our youth trainers.
Yeah, the rest
as well.
of the coaches, because the rest of it's aerials, and everyone that teaches aerials are people that Shan has trained up herself.
Yes, because obviously there is a risk factor involved and you've got to cover all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm imagining insuring all this would be really quite difficult.
Definitely.
They want lots of money, the insurance companies.
Absolutely. I've been really lucky. I found a company that sort of tailored a package for us, but finding everything that we wanted included was not easy.
Well, because it can be dangerous,
Yeah.
but if it's approached correctly, and I know that's what you do,
Yeah.
it makes such a difference. But on your website, I love the fact there's some adults there that obviously come down as a group and they're trying, is that a loop? What do you call just the...
The hammock or the aerial hoop?
Is it a silk material or a
Yeah, it's
steel?
silk.
Yeah, the
that'd be
aerial hammock.
It's not a hoop, yeah.
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 It's just interesting hearing some of their comments afterwards. And there was a woman there who's terrified of the whole thing, but quite proud of herself after the event because everybody came around her and made her feel safe. And
Yeah. Oh, that was when we filmed for Channel 7.
Oh yeah, the Adventure All Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
I mean, it's interesting when you see stuff like that. We forget what we put on websites, and then somebody talks and you think, oh yes, I remember that.
Yeah, she was terrified to drop. Remember
Yeah.
that? That was so funny. But that was one of the best moments because you could tell that that was really meaningful for her. And she spoke
Yes.
about it afterwards, about
Yes.
how she didn't, because before she got up, she was like, oh, that's easy. I can do this. I've got this. And then she got up and she was like, oh my God, no, I can't do this. And then when she came down, that was their first adventure, like their big adventure stop. And the whole team coming around her was just so beautiful to watch. And she reflected that as being a monumental moment for her.
Well, congratulations with what you're achieving. We are going to take another short break and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. Chantelle and Scott Reed have been our guests and we've been talking about all things circus, but we haven't talked a lot about the music side, a little bit, but you've done quite a lot of recording and you've got quite a lot of stuff out there, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got 2 full albums out on all the streaming platforms, and I did that in conjunction with an international artist called Derek Sherinian. I'm a massive metalhead, and I'm into it. He's played in bands like Dream Theater, Whitesnake, Kiss with Alice Cooper, Zakk Wylde, Black Label Society. The list goes on.
So you're loud.
He's a big deal, and I'm loud. Yeah, and.
Famous for blowing up speakers.
Yeah, I have blown up speakers a couple of times.
Has that affected your hearing in all seriousness?
Yeah, I actually
or do you
think-
wear earplugs?
I don't, but my hearing, I get a few little issues. But we're okay. I'm still recording in the studio and I engineer all of it as well, so my hearing's good enough to do that.
I think your hearing is better than mine, to be honest. You hear things that I can't hear.
Well, that's because you're hanging upside down.
This is true.
Yeah, turn the other way. It's like turning the knob the other way. What do you want for your businesses together, what you're doing? Where do you think you want to go? What's your ultimate goal?
I don't know. I mean, right now, we just wanted to make South Coast Circus successful, and that's kind of been happening the last 4 years. So I think just going the same way that we're going, keeping some customers coming through, keeping the numbers high, and then doing a few more shows together again, just keep pumping out some music.
It's like having the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
Our performing has been on hold a little bit while we've been building the circus. We've done 1 return show since COVID hit, but the dream is now that we get to put some more time back into our performing as well.
And that's on the cards. We're putting stuff together at the moment where we can focus on ourselves.
Just
a bit
sit
more
around the
again.
kitchen table at home thinking, no, we could do that.
We are very rarely at home, to be honest. We are usually at the circus gym. Yep, 7 nights.
And
a
that's
week.
what you call the circus gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So gym-wise, have you got weights and all that stuff there, or is it?
No.
No, it's just really
It's
about
all the circus equipment,
circus stuff.
but it is like very
It's
fitness
very
intensive.
fitness-based.
Yeah.
We don't
Well, you've got to have strength
Yeah.
to do this, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fitness based. It's not necessarily like not everyone that comes through our doors performs. Not everyone is interested in performing.
No.
In fact, all our shows are voluntary, so no one is forced into performing. That's why we are on the word gym and fitness rather
Because a lot
than
are coming just for fitness classes that are different to going to a gym and being on
Because it's
tradie.
fun doing something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. But then we cater to performances by offering, fringe shows and
Yeah.
different things for people to be. And then people that want to compete, again, we'll put them into competitions, but we won't make everyone go into competitions.
No, we've got to develop the art side of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, it's all right to hang upside. Are you playing hanging upside down yet?
No, never.
He has done aerials though.
I gave it a crack, yeah.
With the guitar?
Not with the guitar, no.
Oh, I can see you in one of those slings and
We have
hanging by
seen
your
someone do
feet,
that.
upside down, hanging by your feet.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Hey, but if a guy can play the piano in the Olympics that way, whilst upside down, I'm sure you could do that.
I'm sure it could be done.
I love it. Thanks so much for coming in. Because it's really lovely to meet people like yourself, because it's really, you're almost like at the beginning of something that could explode on you, and that's wonderful. So good luck for the shows, for the circus gym, and until we see you next time, good luck to you. Keep yourself nice till then. Bye.